Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales with the last adventure system of 26. This is The Committed Men. So, we're in 1899, well, 99 really, during the Victorian era. So the first delve into this sort of part of history really. You know, everyone seems to think the Victorian era is one of the interesting parts of history really. So, here we go. So, a woman has been murdered in the back streets, of course, of London. And Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson attempt to find who is responsible for this murder, of course. And it is linked to three millionaires who have, have been caught in the news recently for something going on, something strange, like a cult. And they want to find out what it is. They also meet a group of undertakers. And they're also in the same case. So they end up joining forces to do. Both parties meet up, join forces, of course, and take a look at this mysterious cult led by three millionaires. It turns out this cult is actually a faction involving time travel. People from different centuries are here. Are come together, make a cult, and plan to go back in time and change history. That is the thing, really. Led by three billionaires, of course, and they end up creating their own time travel. They do time travel technology, primitive time travel technology, really, and plan to just causing ripples, chaos, multiple changes in the fabric of time. And in doing so, they must be stopped. They will. So this story, of course, is basically involves Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson, heavily influenced by Andy Lane's All-Consuming Fire from 1994, if you ever knew about that one, with the Dr. Ace and Benny joining forces with Dr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson. Ended up on an alien planet somewhere, fighting... supposedly it's meant to be like a Lovecraftian creature, really, from another dimension. So this one takes an interesting thing. We've got the three millionaires, of course, who are based on Julian Glover, Timothy Dalton, and Ricardo Montalban, of course, if you're familiar with those actors, of course. So they're these posh, uptight millionaires, of course, who basically despise peasants and lower societies, really, and end up. The whole thing, of course, is very similar to Faction Paradox, really. The Conclave Juncture, it's known as. This thing. I try to think of a different name, actually. I'm not too sure what they were, really, but I forgot which they're originally known as, but something else. But the Conclave Juncture, they're known as. Originally, they were meant to appear in the 13th story that was originally meant to be deadly relations in between the 8th generation and the embedding. But unfortunately, that's, I think I was a bit dissatisfied with the story because that's maybe saying Madrid, 1623. And obviously, they end up... that story ended up being removed. It ended up being turned into a different story entirely, featuring the Doctors, really. So that story hasn't gone away. It's just been used for something else, for an actual Doctor Who story, really, then Last Adventurers. Yep. So what we got really is... these millionaires, of course, want to just change time, really, cause paradoxes, that sort of thing. Again, Faction Paradox influence, really, on that one. This name also come from painting as well, so there we go. By Peter Elson as well. So yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. You think of stuff like the Reichenbach Fall, the Speckled Band. You think of the Last Vampire, whatever. The Six Napoleons. Something like The Committed Men seems to work actually, as a very very Sherlock Holmes type story. The case of the case of the Committed Men, that sort of thing. The case of All-Consuming Fire. So yeah, I thought, why not, actually? And obviously begs the question, do they exist or not? In terms, well, I think it's quite possible at this moment, because of where these characters, the main characters, the protagonists, are in the dimension. So you could probably think, there could be some more else to it, really. And then do a question, then say, are you actually real? That's more the question, really. So it puts a lampshade on it, it does. And it's like, we're not too sure, really, with that one. But, it's all basic question, like, if he exists, we exist, how does, what else it can be around, really? So we don't know. One other idea was to feature something called the Baker Street Justice Society, because I saw a picture by a guy called Paul Hanley, and nothing, I thought maybe an interesting idea. The year 1889 comes from there. It's in London, of course, but it never came to be. But the idea of it was used in something else entirely, like a different project altogether, or something I sort of cobbled together really. So they're originally meant to be used in this story, but they've became a different project entirely. Of course, it's just Holmes and Watson really in this story, and there we go. That's really about I could say about the Committed Men, number 26. Thank you guys for watching. As always, see you for the next video, and goodbye.